now you're a coach that I see that has done a great job with your teams, and your record has spoken for itself in a sense that you don't always coach the best teams in terms of talent, but somehow, whether your team's the underdog or not, your teams always just find a way to win, or at least give a lot of teams a very hard time, whether it be the world stage, whether around Asia. I mean, how do you get to do that as a coach? Like, what goes in there? I mean, how do you coach the guys like that? Or what do you teach them? What do you impart when you know for sure that you're less talented? I mean, we even saw that in the UAAP. I mean, there's one example that maybe you could say you were underdogs in one of your finals at least, but still found a way to win that. So like, how do you do that as a coach? I mean, is there a formula for it? I mean, how do you maximize what you have in terms of the personnel that you have?
I think there is a formula for that. And again, let me get anecdotal for a second and take you back. When I coached the Auckland professional team in the New Zealand League, we had a kid that was 6'10", went to Arizona State and left Arizona State. I think a lot of people would draw a comparison to Japet Aguilar with this kid. Nobody knows this kid, but he was 6'10", long, incredible athlete. Could play like a guard. He had guard skills, and yet, he hardly ever made it to the national team. He underperformed in everybody's mind, and everybody used to say, man, the potential of this kid. And I used to say to people, wait a minute, isn't ambition part of your potential? Isn't intellect part of your potential? Isn't basketball IQ part of your potential? Aren't all of these other things, other than height and the ability to jump, also indicators of potential? And so why I tell you that story is because the reason that I have taken teams that seem like they are less talented than other teams and been able to compete or even be successful with teams that look superior in terms of what you or somebody else might think is talent, is because I identify talent vastly differently than most other people. I start with character. I think if you are not a winner as a person, then you have very little chance of being a winner as a player. And a lot goes into determining, look at a person's record academically, look at a person's record with their family, look at a person's record as a friend, look at a person's record in terms of service to their family, to their teams, their previous teams, their society. That's where you find winners. So character is number one, and we're looking for winners in terms of character. Second of all, we look for people that have ambition to improve themselves, that have ambition to not crow about how good they are, but they want to talk about how good they're not. And they want to talk about, and they want to ask about, how do I get better? How do I get better? Because we want to put them in an environment of development, not an environment of propagation of success. That doesn't interest us at all. Development interests us. And people that are hungry to realize their own potential. And then the third thing that impacts ultimate success of a team is what is the character of your team and not of the individuals. And it isn't necessarily a sum of the individual parts. Because we could have guys that check all the boxes of the things that I just said in terms of being a winner and in terms of wanting to be great, but they don't really want to submit to the greater cause. They don't really want to be a part of something bigger than them. And so when we are able to assemble those three things, then we think we are formidable in terms of the ultimate outcomes of a league or a tournament. But until we can assemble those three qualities, then, we're not a lot better than everybody else that's seeking to have the most talent to win a championship.
Warning on Coach Paulo Layud for delaying the game. Technical foul on Coach Anton Altamirano for resentment to a call. Coach Charles Chu out of the playing court. Coaches Unfiltered. No refs, no techs.